Well, hello everyone. It's a while since I last did a blog. I've had a little bit of plague. I've had cellulitis in one of my legs, which has been a little pig to get rid of. But anyway, I'm back almost firing on 6 cylinders now, and I've had 2 good days in the workshop with Ian, so I thought it was time I did another blog. Not really any subject this time. I thought I'd tell you what we've been doing for the last few months, really. Nothing completed very much, but lots of little jobs tidied up or started and not quite finished. Anyway, the one we've been working on today is a 6-cylinder Fordson Major, which I bought back in the summer. It was one that I didn't really want. I wasn't looking for one because I've got a 6-cylinder engine all ready to do one day. Don't know when, but anyway, I was offered this one. Ollie Stevens from St Merrin, he needed to sell it because he wanted to put some money in to restore a tractor in memory of his dad, and so we came to an agreement and he sold it. It was all running, but it needed work doing to it, partly restored or partly finished, and Ollie really hasn't got the premises to do it. He does it all in his garage, and it's a bit of a fight, I think. So I think probably he's quite wise to sell it, especially now we've got into it and we've seen what it is. At the point I bought it, somebody else had done all the work, and I think it's been done quite a few years because there's a combination of things. So I knew I'd got to undo some of the work because I didn't particularly like it, but it's been a bit more than I expected. Anyway, I'll show you a few pictures. So now we've got it in the workshop. One of the things that I did as soon as I bought it, I'd found a John Deere cab which was very reasonably priced, not for a Fordson Major of course, but it was a super cab, a Duncan super cab, and it was all complete. It had been taken off the John Deere tractor because the guy that owned it was doing a restoration on it, and he was also doing some building work at the same time. The builder he got helping him with the building work fancied a tractor, so he bought the tractor off him as part of the deal, and didn't come back and pick the cab up. And after a few months, the chap said to him, when are you going to get the cab? When are you going to finish it? He said, "Oh, I don't want the cab." He said, "I'll put shell mud guards on it and that's it, you can keep it." So anyway, he advertised it on Facebook and I bought it, and I didn't really know what I was going to do with it, but I've had various ideas. But when I bought this tractor off of Ollie, it just made sense to me to put it on that. If I could get it to fit, it'd be a nice road run tractor, and because everything's in it, it's mounted on rubber, so it wouldn't be that noisy, and we'd be able to. I could laugh at the ones that were in the pouring rain if I did it. That's saying that I'm not much of a road runner, but perhaps I'll get a bit keener when I'm doing that. Anyway, have a look at that and see where we got to with that. This is the one we're working on now. We hope to get this out in time for the tractor road run on the 29th. Santa's Tinsel tractor run. It's pretty well. Doesn't look very well done, but we've got everything done. We've had to do a lot of pulling apart to get it square because the front, there was a lot of cumulative problems on it which we've sorted out. We've got the cab fitting properly, and it should be a nice tractor when it's finished. It's a way to go yet. It's only going to be assembled, and then I'll decide how good a finish I want to put on it when I see how well it goes. Now, as you can see, there's a few things to do on it. I actually took that film yesterday. No, David. Well, anyway, we've had a good day on it today, and we've sorted out quite a few of the things that were really annoying me. We've got rid of that A-frame at the front. I hate that. I wanted it to go backwards, so we've got rid of that. We've lined it all up. We haven't quite finished it, but we've got it all lined up. We've got all the side rails in place and straight now. We've got the cab on and fully mounted. We've widened the front axle to make that look something like it, and it is looking quite a tool now. And I've started doing some of the work on the tin work. I'm not going to tell you anymore because I want to do a blog on it, and I think when you see it you'll be quite surprised. So what else have we been doing? I've got 2 workshops, and in the next workshop I've got a few David Browns, so we're both being worked on, but I'll show you those in a minute. Got a bit of David Brown works going on. The 995, good tractor, but I've got a curious rattle in the front, and I thought there was a gear loose. Don't know if you can see that. Anyway, I've had all the front off it, and there was nothing loose but the idler gear that ran between the 3 drives, then the crank tappets and injector pump was badly worn, and there was a lot of slack in it. So I've got one spare, so I've changed that, and she's now running quietly again. The only reason it's in here is because the bonnet's got a dent down there, which I don't know if you can see it, and it's a 2-man job to straighten it, and the stays are loose there, so we've got to get that sorted out. So that's David Brown number 1, which is, well, it could drive out now really, but I want to do that bonnet. The other one's my 990, which has been stood, I bet, for 2 years, waiting to have surgery, and we've got in there and given it the surgery. Here she is. The crank on it has been, well, somebody borrowed it for a road run, and I heard it knocking and thought they'd drive it home. Very expensive road run for me, that was. This is the state that the shells were in. Oh, he's saying, I thought it was knocking a bit. 300 quid later, I think I'll probably cure the knock. Anyway, I don't begrudge doing it to this tractor. It's a good tractor. I'm trying to keep it original. Spoke to a very nice chap in Ireland that's got a 990 crank and conrods. I think I'm going to need conrods as well, and I can get them fairly reasonable, so that will be done. So that's the David Brown section we've been working on. David Brown's is usually a David Brown, not needing work because they're particularly unreliable, but I've got 17 or 18 of them, and every one of them has been bought with work needed to do to it. So, you're going to see quite a lot of David Browns, and we're slowly getting through it. It's a case of sort the problem out, get it working, and give it a trial. So the one you've just seen, the 995, that's a nice tractor. And then there's the 990. That's always been one of my favourite tractors because I was a tractor driver, full-time tractor driver on a 400-acre farm before I worked for myself, and I did all the work with it. It was a fantastic tractor, very much underrated in its day because it was all Fords and Fergies around us, but that one would keep up with most of them, and I was very impressed with it. And when I managed to buy this one, it was a real scoop for me because it's pretty well identical. Although the old one I drove was an E registration one, this is F registration one, and I bet you there's not 2 or 3 months between them. Everything about it's identical. Anyway, we finished the David Browns, and then something I was showing you before, that my Super 6, we did some work on that. The last time I showed it you, we've got a flat front tyre, and well, have a look, see where we got to with it. Right, it's a Super 6. I think the last time you saw this, that front tyre was flat on the floor. In fact, it wasn't that front tyre, it's another one. I've since put another set of tyres on it, and as you can see, it's sitting up a lot squarer. Fits the set a lot better now. We've got to the bottom of the fuel problem. We've repiped it, fitted that pump, got rid of the electric pump that was causing all the issues, and it seems to solve the problem. So she's ready to go now. I've got 1 or 2 small jobs still to do on it. I've got these strengthened wheels, which I suppose would look okay if it was on all of them, but it's only on this one, and the rest of them aren't quite a matching set, but still better than the ones that were on it. So that's it. So that's what we've been doing to the County. It certainly pulls a lot better. One thing I did find was it had got odd sized front tyres and back tyres. It was only, when you measured round it, it was about barely an inch, but every time those wheels went round, that gathered another inch on it, and when you were on a tarmac road, you'd suddenly feel it snatch, and it was the wheel catching up, and it must play hell with the transmission. I know you have to have matched tyres, but I didn't realise quite how serious it was. I know I was reading a book about counties, and John Hall said they used to time the wheels so that the treads dropped into the front tread mark, the back wheels would fit into the tread exactly, and that made a big difference to efficiency. So it's something to think about. I'm certainly not going to do it. Getting them on once was enough. Trying to time the treads is going to be pretty hard, but I guess it could be done with a little bit of thought, but mauling big tractor tyres a bit like this, I don't want to do it anymore. Right, so that's that one finished. Now that County, as I said there, it's been a big disappointment too, really, because it was one of my dream tractors, a 4-wheel drive 6-cylinder super major. What a tool it would be. And it was such a disappointment because I could never get it to drive right, and the fuel was wrong, and it just wouldn't start and everything. But we've solved those problems now, and it is good. It's you go there, push the cold starter in, press the starter, whoop, away it goes, and that's how they should be. When it's a bit finer weather, we'll get it out and we'll have a little run with it so you can see what it really goes like. So got all the right tyres on it now. Two wheels that I've taken off of it. There was one of the front tyres burst, which ruined that pair, but the back wheels, it's quite a reasonable set of tyres, and I've put those onto that 6-cylinder Fordson that you saw earlier on, and that's made that look a lot better. But again, you'll see that later. Okay, so now what are we going to look at? Oh yeah, have a look at this. Right, you could call this a hedgerow find, but it wasn't really, because I knew it was here. Timmy, my mate's owned this for quite a few years. It's a super major. It did have a good engine. I'm not sure what it's like now. It's been left to the elements for a long time, so I'm not holding my breath on this one. I bought it for the price where it doesn't really matter whether it goes or not. I'm more interested in the back end, which again looks pretty shabby, but I've got plans for that in the future, which I don't want to reveal now because that'll be in another blog sometime. So it is what you see there, really. It's what you could call pretty damn rough, but we've had worse than that, and we can certainly do something with it. It'd probably be mostly for spares. It will certainly be broken up. I need the front super major tombstone for another project we've got going on. Not sure if the radiator's living or not now, but there's some useful bits on it, and it'll certainly help me get it on, particularly since I've bought this one. Tour of Timmy's hedge. This one's been in the hedge here for a lot of years now, and he's been going to do it up ever since it's been here. And it's a super major. It's as you can see, a yellow one, so it's industrial. It's got industrial hubs, which means it's got one foot brake, and the hubs are in by the back wheel. I may have a problem there because I don't know where you can get the bits, but the interesting thing is it's got a winch on the back, and I think it's okay. I've looked at it, you know, it's a bit flaky rust on there in places, but there's plenty of meat left, you know, it will go. So I should be dragging that one out shortly. Unfortunately, the hydraulic top has been left off for several years. I'm not sure what we're going to find when we get in there. I don't intend changing the back end, so we'll sort it out somehow. It's you're not going to hurt a major back end anyway if you just fill it full of some good oil and give it a spin and then drain it out and clean it 2 or 3 times. It'll soon clean itself up. So there we are. That's a project for the future. Another winch there. That's nothing to do with this, but there we go. Right, that's it. Sorry about the sound quality there. It dropped away on me. It was quite windy when I was filming that, and you know, it's difficult to know how well you're being heard. Anyway, I hope you made it what it was. The first tractor you saw, as I said, it's a tractor that Timmy's owned for 10 years, I guess. He bought it as spares. It had been picked really. It was 2 tractors put into one, and that was, or 2 tractors made a good one, and what was left over was what you saw there. But it's actually quite good. It's got a super major back end, but the top is knackered. It's pulled, you know, the hydraulic top. It's pulled the centre arm out of it, and it's not very good. I did look at it to put on my county, but absolutely had it. It has. So I'm not losing any sleep over that. I'll probably put diesel major hydraulics on it when I do something with it. The engine, I might get it going. I don't know. It's a few years now since it started, but it is, if I say still dry, it's stood out there, but there's nothing, no reason why any water should have got inside it, but we'll see. The yellow super major, that really is a project. Timmy's had that one for a lot of years. That's probably 20 years or more. It came from our Coldrose airfield, and it was used there for, well, as a service tractor, I guess. And I wouldn't say it was working when Timmy had it. He bought it off somebody, but it was certainly a lot better state than that. Somebody told me it had a cab on it, but there's no sign of that anymore. But it's one of these things. The hydraulic top's been left off that. I know water's got in the back end, so you know, I may have a job there. We'll see. It's surprising. Majors never fail to amaze me how they'll be preserved no matter what you throw at them. So, you know, it can't be as bad as, or it can. It can be as bad as some of the ones I've looked at, but you know, we've brought some real dead ones back, and I'm determined to get that one going. The winch, I think, is okay. I can't really see any more than there is in those brambles, but in moving it, we have moved stuff around. It's not seized up completely, and you know, it's a meaty thing, and I don't think it's rusted it that badly. And if it is, you know, we can weld a bit in. So it's another project. When I'll do it, I don't know. I obviously I don't want to leave them getting any worse, but another 6 months wouldn't matter a bit where they are, because they've been out there so long. But I do want to get them. I need some bits. The tombstone is to go on the road list that you saw in one of the blogs that my brother's got. The tombstone, well, it doesn't exist. It was a home built thing, and it looks awful. So I wanted to put a super major tombstone on it, and that's primarily what I bought the tractor for. But there's lots of other pieces I can pick off it, and you know, there won't be a lot left when it's finished. So let's hope, you know, watch this space, I suppose. I'll certainly do a blog on that when I do it. The 6-cylinder tractor you saw in the workshop with a cab on it, I'm doing a blog on that. As I said, I've done a lot more work to that. I think you'll like that when we finished it. It'll be another unusual one. Any major with a 6-cylinder engine is unusual, but I'm quite taken with this. You know, I'm on a roll with it now, so that's it. So not much of a blog tonight, really. It's just a catch up. You know, I will come back with some stories as we do some more. But just horrible weather for doing things there. It's so much easier in the summer, and you've got some long light evenings as well, which we certainly haven't got now. So that's me done. If I'd like to wish you all a happy Christmas and a happy and prosperous New Year. Get rid of this bloody COVID thing so that we can get and have some rallies again. We got a road run which we did last year on between Christmas and New Year. It's the Tinsel Tractor Run. We're going to run that again this year. We've looked at all the rules and regulations, and we think we can do it without upsetting too many people. So that's 29th of December, and it's starting at Morganporth Village Hall car park. There'll be bacon sandwiches there, and I hope to see a lot of people there. I think the information I've put out on Facebook so far has been well received, and if the weather's with us, we shall have a lot. We're collecting for charity, £10 a tractor to go in it. It's going to not a respite centre, what would you call it? A place that sorts out problem children. CHAT, it's called, CHAT. And it really, kids with all sorts of problems, but a woman called Mary Harvey and her partner run it, and they do wonders with these kids. It gives them a bit of a purpose in life. So, we're quite keen to look after that. They obviously COVID has hit them hard, and they need some money. They got some alpacas there, and they have to feed those, and insurance costs them a fortune as well. So, I've got a lot of time for them. So that's what we're supporting. So, as I say, Happy New Year to you, and I'll see you next year with a fresh blog. Cheers, bye.